Auburn looked absolutely awful on offense versus Texas A&M at College Station. Somebody's going to get fired.
This is the Weekend Tailgate. Brought to you by Golden's Cast Iron. C-Dub. Ike Jones. Be Will. By G. You are now listening to
Weekend Tailgate brought to you by our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use code Get Your Weight Up for 15% off your weights and code TWR for $65 off fire pits and Kamado grills. Guys, the summer may be done, but the fall is here. And with that brings awful Auburn offense. So buy yourself a Golden's Cast Iron grill and cast your burdens onto the Golden's Cast Iron fire, or just glow up with some Golden's Cast Iron weights. Either way, Golden's will help you get your stress out about what you saw on Saturday. We appreciate them for sponsoring this segment. Do us a favor, sign up as a patron. The whole season is actually still in front of Auburn with only 2 losses. Still time to turn it around. Miracles do happen, Caesar. They happen.
Do they?
And you can be there for the ride as Ike breaks down the film. This is going to be a depressing watch the film, I'm sure. All my patrons, we appreciate you guys. Lots of patron memberships given away this weekend. And you want to be in there, so we appreciate that. You guys are micro-sponsoring our channel. Want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. Visit them for all your herbal medicinal needs. If you've got some traditional ailments that might require some non-traditional remedies, Rogue Shop could be the place for you. We appreciate them. Please use code REPORT to drop a little something extra special in there for everybody using code REPORT today. I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. You can find them at 3462 Crosslands Road, Suite E in Phoenix City, Alabama. Get fresh for the weekend with the Vibe Vault. Not just barbers, lifestyle consultants. I'm well overdue for my visit to the Vibe Vault. I'm going to head on over there tomorrow. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank our friends at Abel's Iannone Moore & Associates. That's AIMA. Just starting out in your career. Might feel like investing is something you'll think about later, but the truth is that the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. AIMA helps young professionals build disciplined portfolios from day one. They help you understand how to invest strategically, avoid common pitfalls, and create a foundation for long-term financial growth. No minimum account required, no sales pitch, no gimmicks, just clear guidance from a team with over 20 years of experience helping clients across the country. Call AIMA at 912-777-4128 or visit AIMAINC.com to get started on the path toward financial security and freedom. The War Rapport has been compensated by Abel's Iannone Moore & Associates for this endorsement. AIMA is a registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The information in this advertisement is for informational purposes only and should not be considered personalized investment advice. All investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Call AIMA today. Caesar, let's jump in to the conversation. Auburn went down. You weren't able to make the post game, so I want to give you the floor here to give your thoughts before I jump in to what I'm really wanting to talk about. We had 45 straight minutes of super chats yesterday, so just everybody wanting to air out their grievances about yesterday's offensive performance. I think we all agree the defense did a pretty damn good job, all things considered, but the problems continue to be on the same side of the ball. It seemed like at Baylor, we found the solution, and this offense looked adaptable, and then it didn't. So, talk to me, man. What's how did you feel on Saturday, and how are you feeling today?
Sadly, I'm not shocked, Mike. I'm not shocked. Actually, had I been on the show yesterday, I actually would have picked Texas A&M. Not because Auburn's not talented, not because Auburn didn't have a chance to win, and they did. I have yet to see Auburn take advantage of these opportunities under Hugh Freeze and get a critical win, especially on the road. And until I see that, I'm not going to start predicting it as though it's something that happens for Auburn. And it didn't happen. And so I'll go back, Mike. Can you go back in time with me? You remember the Music City Bowl? And you remember how disappointing of a performance that was, how Auburn just looked as though they didn't have a clue what to do on offense.
Which Music City Bowl? Auburn's. I've been
Auburn,
to
Maryland.
Okay, yeah.
Under
okay,
Hugh Freeze.
Got it. I'm with you.
You remember what Hugh Freeze said after that game?
Yeah.
That was flabbergasting, right? You remember he said, I was focusing on recruiting that week.
I asked him the question.
This was the head ball coach. This is the head coach. This was the offensive minded coach who was checked out doing something else.
Yeah.
Which explains what we saw in the Music City Bowl against Maryland. Okay. We overlooked that because Hugh was building towards the future. Hugh said, give me my guys in here and it's going to look different. So we went along with that because he was putting together successful recruiting classes, something that Auburn hadn't seen in a while. So it was like, okay, he's building something. Let's see what he does in year 3. Year 3 was supposed to be the year, Mike. It's year 3. And what we saw yesterday was coaching malpractice on a level I have not seen. And we've seen a lot of terrible moments at Auburn, unfortunately. This was horrible, Mike. In the offseason, Hugh Freeze said that the drop back passing game needed work. Against A&M, a team that allowed 200 yards of rushing in week 1 against UTSA on 33 attempts. You had a better bounce back against Utah State. They only mustered 78 yards on 35 rushing attempts. Notre Dame had 136 yards on 39 rushing attempts. And against them, you only attempted 24 rushing attempts. And that's your strength. Auburn's strength is to run the football, Mike. A week prior, you talked about needing to run the football more, and you refused to go after the very thing that A&M is a little weak in by attacking them, utilizing Auburn's weakness. Auburn's not strong in throwing the football, whether it's pass pro, whether it's Jackson Arnold seeing the field, whatever the case may be. Auburn's strength is running the football, and you wouldn't even do it on 3rd and 4th and 1 to get a first down at the end of the game. Not to mention all of the false starts, which are things we saw in year 1. We saw it against Maryland. We saw it against New Mexico State. We saw inexplicable penalties on the offense. They look undisciplined.
Yeah.
They look uncoached. They look like they're being led by a coach that's focusing on other things other than getting his team ready.
Let me pause you there. I got a special treat for everybody who tuned into the weekend tailgate today. You probably heard me say before that, if there was ever a time where Hugh Freeze was not the coach here, that there would be a story to tell here. I'm not going to tell the story in full, but I'm going to tell it in part today.
Go for it.
I received a text message from a former Auburn player. I want to stress this is someone who is not on the team, but has been on the team since Hugh Freeze was the coach. After the game, I've had previous talks with this player, but he said that, what did I tell you, Mike? And this is referencing a previous conversation we had about, things going on inside the program. The amount of talent on that offense, and these are quotes, is insane for them to be that bad. They run stops, goes, and double moves. That's the extent of his offense for Cam Coleman. A big part of it is because of how much time they waste in the offseason because the head coach is lazy and not motivated. Auburn will never win with Hugh Freeze as head coach. That's a former player. Wow. Now, the last bit of that is something I had heard before. And look, there's so much talent on this team. I didn't necessarily agree with the statement when I heard it. I just said, okay, well, that's your perspective and you lived it. So I can't argue with your lived experience. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't say that you went through the practices, you went through the program, you went through the game prep. If that is your truth, that's your truth. But the amount of talent that they amassed was so great. In my mind, I don't know how you mess this up. Throw the ball to Cam Coleman, throw it to Perry Thompson, get it to your playmakers and see. But this comment points to something deeper going on within the program.
Yeah, but right? Mike, the issue, again, the excuse of talent is no longer there, but we saw other issues in year one that actually is a symptom of a deeper issue in which you received intel from a former player that there were other issues, right? And so my thing is, the coaches that do more with less, the scary thing is what happens when you give them more? What happens when you give them elite talent and elite athletes? We didn't see Hugh Freeze do more with less. So my concern was, will he do less with more? Because he doesn't do a lot. So that was my concern. That was my fear with in year three. If there are things that we're seeing that are coachable, you should coach these things out of these kids.
Yeah.
And you talked about how DJ Durkin, how he is organized.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
How his practices are ran. You've never said that about Hugh Freeze and his offense.
Yeah, no, I have not. And look, the guys on the defense side are pretty clear about, who they feel DJ Durkin is, how he coaches, how they're learning, how they feel they're progressing. Not a complaint on that side. Caesar, DeMar Elston had 2 carries.
2. And
he was healthy yesterday. Jeremiah Cobb had 6.
Jackson Arnold had the leading rushing offenses going into Oklahoma.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold had like 15 carries, but a lot of those felt like unscheduled takeoffs because maybe Ike is going to join us here in a second, and maybe he can give us his perspective on how many of those QB runs were actually scheduled versus how many were just Jackson taking off. But there's something deeper going on here, man. The level of talent that these guys have to work with is insane. And the floor is way too low. Now, Bruce Pearl tweeted out yesterday. It's something we got a lot to cover today, so I just want to make sure I'm going to bring Ike in here. He is traveling back from Oklahoma. Ike, are you ready? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready? Yep. I'm bring Ike Jones in here. I think he's at the
Ike, you look pissed.
Are you at the Houston airport? Are you at the Houston airport?
I am at the Houston airport.
Before we give the floor to Ike, I do want to read this tweet by Bruce Pearl yesterday. He said, "We lost by 7 points at number 11 Oklahoma and by 6 at number 9 Texas A&M. Our defense is elite, and we had chances to win both games on the road. We've got to find an identity on offense, and when we do, we're going to win football games. Let's get ready for Georgia. Auburn family, Jordan Harem," is what he said. Respectfully, Bruce, sit this one out. You don't get...
Jordan Harem would be a really interesting play on words for Hugh Freeze's past, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, right. Sit this one out, Bruce. You don't get to come in You don't get to be in a special assistant to the athletic director position for 2 days and then come in and tell Auburn fans just a little bit longer. It's been 2.5 years.
Mike,
The floor is way too low. And so I quote tweeted him and I just said, look, man, the pertinent question is, should you still be searching for an offensive identity at this point in year 3? It's not that they lost, it's how they lost. There's generational talent on offense, Bruce, and the floor should be much higher than what it was today. So I again, respectfully, Bruce Pearl, sit this one out. I'm sorry. If you were frustrated with what you saw, nobody should be able to come in and tell you, they're close. They've been close for a minute. They were close last year.
Yeah. I agree.
They were close last year. So let's get Ike in here. Again, he's in the airport. I want him to give his thoughts, and then we'll get him out of here. Ike, floor is yours.
The floor. Yeah. That's where we are. The floor.
Is it the floor?
I'm hoping, God, if we could get lower than this, then. Well, I mean, so at least the defense is still fighting, right? So maybe it's not the floor, right? If the defense gives up, then you have reached the pits of hell. Because this is actually, I was confused as to what I was watching yesterday. I was sitting there in this press box watching a game and absolutely confused as to what I was seeing. I was just like, this can't be what y'all practiced all week. This can't be, like, I was watching Auburn get pushed around for 4 quarters. Like, it was just not, there was no semblance of, we have any idea of how they plan to attack us, and let's do something to counter that attack. It was just like, oh man, this is happening, huh? Oh man, they're pretty good. I guess we're just gonna let them do whatever they want to do. Here we go again. No first downs in the first quarter of the game. You didn't move the football at all. I think there were just as, I'm not looking at the stats right now, but I think there was just as many first downs via penalty as there were that Auburn earned first downs. Like, it was ridiculous, the ineptitude on offense for the vast majority of that game. Xavier Atkins getting a tipped pass that wasn't even like some fantastic defensive play. The wide receiver dropped a pass that was slightly overthrown and it fell right in his hands, is the only reason Auburn had a touchdown in that game. That would have been a second trip in a row to College Station with no offensive touchdown had he not gotten stopped at the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mind-blowing that a team that was giving up as many rushing yards as Texas A&M did through their first 3 games completely shut down Auburn's run game. It was the most unimaginative, uninspired offense I have witnessed. And that's saying something, because last year was pathetic. I don't have real work. I haven't gone back and watched any of this film because today's my birthday and I don't need that evil in my life.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
But tomorrow, I will. And when I do, I'm going to have a trash can somewhere nearby so I can vomit into it.
Yeah, this was hard. This was hard to watch. As I mentioned, now is where we start to hear. Now I'm telling you, a lot of stuff is going to start to emerge about Auburn football here, and I think people were hopeful, right? So a lot of the stories about things that go behind the scenes have been kept at bay, but now I think you're going to start to hear more and more from players, former players, about how things are run, how things are done, and what role that has in where Auburn is today. Look, Auburn could go on and beat Georgia. That's the crazy thing, is Auburn could go on and beat Georgia in 2 weeks. They could. I mean, they've got that much talent. They could go on and beat Georgia in 2 weeks. The issue still will be that it can be as bad as it was yesterday. It's never been about what their ceiling is. We were supposed to have been done with the days of this sort of offense. I don't know what to say. There was absolutely zero commitment to the run yesterday. And this offensive line, man, I tweeted this as well too. I don't know if you guys, somebody needs to be fired. And I'm not calling for Hugh Freeze's job, but who's accountable for what we saw yesterday? And if Hugh is truly saying it's all on me by not letting anybody on his staff go after that, then maybe it should be him. I don't know that I'm in favor of doing it mid-season, but man, I don't know what else to say about this. Somebody else said this, tweeted this at me yesterday. They were like, another beat writer out on the outs on this program. So I started poking around social media, and I was like, whoa, boy. Justin Ferguson, Nathan King, some of my favorites, man, they've completely turned on this coach and this program.
He did this to himself. I don't know how you continue to keep people on your side or even on the fence when you keep messing up. Like Auburn fans are rooting for Cam Coleman. They're rooting for Perry Thompson. They're rooting for Damari Alston. They want these kids to realize their dreams, and you are putting them in a position to fail. That's why people are turning on you. You don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is tough. Let's talk about the defense for a second, because they were definitely a bright spot. As Ike mentioned, the missed catch that led to the eventual touchdown really is kind of a score for the defense, but that was more of a Texas A&M blunder than anything. Even despite that, though, I do feel like the defense played extremely well. Auburn lost time of possession by nearly 10 minutes yesterday, which, again, you're not going to win many games when you do that unless you're scoring quickly, right? Like, unless you're scoring quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see, where they go from here. This is tough. This is very, very tough. And I'm going to maintain that the issue is that the floor is still very, very low. Defense is holding Auburn in. I mean, DJ Durkin's doing the job. I admire the fight that those guys had defensively in spite of where they were at most of that ball game. They gave Auburn a fine, like, you punted with essentially no timeouts and with 3 timeouts. You punted with 3 timeouts and asked your defense to go out and get a 3 and out. And they got you the ball back for a final drive to win the game. And they couldn't manage a first down. On that third down, Caesar, Jackson Arnold threw the ball from like third and inches.
And missed horribly.
What was that? I don't
horribly.
Explain.
Who were you throwing?
How did you do that? I don't understand. I thought, okay, the clock stops on the first down, get a quick first down, reset. You got 3 more tries to move it 10 yards.
Yeah, so number one, I don't understand the call. The execution was terrible because now, to, I guess, credit of someone, the route that Malcolm was running was not the route that Jackson threw. Like, plain and simple, he was throwing it as if he thought Malcolm was going to sit it down in the zone, and Malcolm kept running like it was a slant. So, again, they're not on the same page about what they're trying to get executed offensively. And it is over and over and over again, you're seeing offensive execution where people are not on the same page. And I think what's crazy is we've seen this same team do this at Baylor. Like, it's not as if that was just 3-4 games ago. And you forgot all of that stuff. And I get it that Baylor's not as good a football team as far as depth and athleticism, but Baylor's not a trash football team. You don't fall off that big a cliff that quickly without people just losing focus in bad preparation. It just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense that you could have the level of focus and execution where Baylor kept punching back and their offense kept scoring, and Auburn just kept keeping them at arm's distance. And you have not seen that team show up for 2 weeks now. It's like they did it at Baylor and they were like, oh, we proved we could do it. Job's done. I don't understand.
Yeah. Look, my prediction for this game was 33-17 Auburn. Texas A&M did about what I expected them to do. Their offense looked just like I thought it would look. It looked very boom or busty. You know, I didn't feel like, I thought that they did a good job essentially holding them to what they normally hold people. But I was dead wrong about the offense. I had no idea that the offense would play that badly. I can't stress enough, this defense is they're doing all they can. They may not be perfect, but they're doing all they can under the circumstances. And they just, you turned it up, you gave the ball back too many times with no zero. Auburn did not convert a single third down in this game. Not one.
0 for 13.
Yeah.
0 for 2 on fourth down.
That is wild to me.
And
right?
Your defense kept you in the game.
Yeah,
that's a testament to the job the defense has done. And what I'm afraid of, and I know people in the chat was like, "Are you serious? Auburn could beat Georgia." I'm not saying Auburn's going to beat Georgia, but here's what we've seen over the past 3 years: is Auburn will come out and look competent.
Yep.
Against Georgia.
Randomly.
They'll look competent against Georgia. They'll actually play. Things will make sense. Play calls will make sense. What's frustrating where I am at year 3 is it is inconsistent. You don't know when it's going to happen. This is why when we did boss toss and loss in the offseason, I put Arkansas as a toss because there's a game. I said this. There's a game out there where Auburn will come out and you will not understand what you're watching.
Yeah.
What were they doing that week? This has happened for 3 years where there's a game, and it turns out A&M turned out to be one of those games where Auburn just does the complete opposite of what you think. You think Auburn is about to turn the corner, and they just completely regress and just show up as a shell of themselves. I doubt they do that against Georgia, and it'll give fans hope, and then they'll come out and crap the bed against a team that they should beat because they have more talent than. But talent is not Auburn's problem at this point.
Yeah. Look, it's tough. I mean, Georgia was the game that I had firmly in the loss column when we did boss toss and loss. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you guys now. There's absolutely zero way I'm picking Auburn. I think anything is possible. But I'm not picking them to win that game. Not now seeing that the floor is really, really still this bad versus 18, and Ike pointed out, like, people ran the ball on Texas A&M. It's not like they were just out there stopping everybody's run.
Right.
Auburn just didn't commit to it at all.
Didn't try.
But this offensive line, I don't know, man, for them to still be this bad. I mean, Hugh Freeze told the world that an NFL scout gave 6 of his guys NFL grades. So if that's true, then something else is seriously wrong here. Now, it's frustrating that we're in year 3 of this with all this talent and we're still having this conversation, and it's not even October yet. It is not even October. Look, let's get to the break here. And when we come back, we're going to read your comments. I see the super chats piling up here. We're going to get to them. Guys, do us a favor. If you're in here, share this video at the War Rapport. Use hashtag Get Your Weight Up. Like and subscribe. We are the War Rapport on every social media platform. X, Instagram, TW Rapport on TikTok. So go ahead and follow the socials. We're going to get to the break here. And when we come back, we'll get to your comments.
This edition of the War Rapport is brought to you by our generous sponsors. Golden's Cast Iron. Whether you work out, grill out, or chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com.
The Rage Room. The Rage Room is a place where anger and stress find their ultimate release. Set up a session today at one of the 2 great locations in Opelika or Birmingham by visiting opelikaRageRoom.com or BirminghamRageRoom.com.
As always, we want to thank our title sponsor, Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use the codes on the screen to get your discounts on some weights, on some grills, a workout, grill out, chill out with Golden's Cast Iron. Join as a patron. Game day will be here again before, we got a little bye week here, so we got a little break before the next Auburn home game. I will be there in Jordan-Hare for Auburn versus Georgia, the Deep South's oldest rivalry. But the fellas are going to be handling things. You want to be a member so that you can be a part of the game day chat and get in on the film reviews after the fact. We appreciate everybody for joining up. You can hit that gifted membership button and give the gift of the War Rapport to somebody who has not joined yet. We appreciate everybody who has been gifting membership. Lots of them given away on the post game yesterday. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. See if we can get 20 given away here. Also want to thank our friends at SetsForSociety.ai. The road to knowing self starts at Sets for Society. They have custom personality assessments to let you know a little bit more about how you think, how those around you think, and how you guys can best think together to accomplish like goals. So visit SetsForSociety.ai to get your custom personality assessment started today. I want to thank our friends at AIMA. That's Abels, Iannone, Moore and Associates. Participating in a 401k is important, but so is investing those dollars wisely. Most plans have limited investment options, and the long-term value of your account can vary widely based on the choices you make. The reality is many participants struggle with how to allocate their 401k and do not have a resource to help. Now you do. The team at Abels, Iannone, Moore and Associates will review your plan options, discuss your goals, and help you choose an allocation strategy that works for you. The best part, there's no charge for this service, just unbiased fiduciary guidance to help you out the most, help you get the most out of your retirement. Call AIMA at 912-777-4128 or visit aiminc.com today to take advantage of this free 401k review. The War Rapport has been compensated by Abels, Iannone, Moore and Associates for this endorsement. Abels, Iannone, Moore and Associates is a registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The information in this advertisement is for informational purposes only and should not be considered personalized investment advice. All investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code RAPPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. If you got some traditional ailments and you're looking for some non-traditional remedies, the Rogue Shop could be the place for you. Again, visit rogueshop.com. Use code RAPPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. We appreciate them for sponsoring this segment. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault and get fresh for the weekend with the Vibe Vault, 3462 Crosswinds Road, Suite E in Phoenix City, Alabama. Not just barbers, lifestyle consultants. Let's jump back into our conversation here, fellas. Lots of comments here. We're going to get to the super chats. Let's start at the top.
Hey, Mike, before you get started, does that look like Ike is having a good birthday?
He needs a Tylenol or Jack and Coke. I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, he needs a Rogue Shot. Go ahead. Go.
I blame you for this too. This is your fault.
You ruined Ike's birthday.
I'm telling you.
No, that's not even exaggerating, bro. Like this has been a horrible trip for a lot of reasons. Like I'm just like, bro, like what? I'm not even mad they lost, right? From the beginning of the season, I was like, I think Texas A&M is one of the better teams in the SEC. I'm not mad they lost the game. You can't. Read the comments, bro.
All right, let's get to some comments here. TJ Lou says, "We are so close, guys." Looks down while speaking. This is referenced, I think, to Bruce Pearl tweet talking about how close Auburn is. Infinite Auburn Chase. I got Chase says, Freeze told his seniors last year that he was sad they wouldn't get to see the fullness of Auburn football. How much longer until we get to experience that fullness? Lots of jokes there. Mercy says, comparing Freeze to Jimbo is disrespectful to Jimbo. At least he won 8 games when he was coaching. Yikes. Felix the Cat says, I'm so hurt right now. I'm so hurt because I'm actually thinking about leaving my favorite football team. I'm so tired of losing every game every year. The fans have been amazing. I'm telling you guys, like, I mean, for Auburn fans to check out, you really got to be like, you just a lot of foolishness that has to happen. It's Low says Freeze wanted Jackson, but the staff didn't. So who were the other QBs that the staff wanted? Interesting. We'll come back to that in a second. Ongo Gablogian. I'm convinced he doesn't truly watch film, but rather they watch enough to get the general idea, but doesn't plan around the actual scheme or tendencies and forces his offense regardless of the defense. Couple the creator you says question one, run to set up the or A pass or B pass. Yep, I get it. It's unbelievable. Mr. Gibson with the 990 assigned super chat says, I have a show on how AU calls 8 coaches hire. Also, when a coach is under pressure, why do they triple down on what isn't working? Yeah. Anthony Long, Auburn has a coach evaluation problem. How is it that Coach Hugh Freeze needs 3 years to be competitive and Jeff Lebby only needs 2 to be competitive at Mississippi State? Yeah, man. I mean,
that should have been a red flag. That.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they were picked like almost dead last in the SEC, and look at them.
Saying I need 3 years when Auburn.
But Jeff Lebby and Mississippi State were immediately good offensively last year. They could move the ball and score points last year. They just couldn't stop anybody. So the problem again, and this is the same thing we had with the last 2 coaches, is you have a coach who is the side of the football that you cut your teeth on is the one that's being the worst. Jeff Lebby was an offensive coordinator. He came in, Mississippi State has a good offense. He just had to figure out the defensive side. That's understandable. This is inexplicable.
Yeah, true. All true statements. Rick says Ike is going to age 2+ years watching the film. He ain't getting any younger. Chris K says, I'm tired of Auburn losing to Auburn and not the opponent. Fire Freeze gifted 10 War Rapport membership.
Absolutely,
we appreciate that.
But I hear you.
He's been Fire Freeze for a minute. He did not just change his name to that, FYI. So appreciate my man for being himself. Exclusive TV says the answer to the offensive problem is focusing on the team's strength. The strength of the team is running the damn ball and only make short to medium passes. Brandon gifted 1 War Rapport membership. We appreciate that, sir. Felix comes back and says, can someone please pull me off this edge? I've been an Auburn fan for 40 years. I can't believe I feel like this. Just tired of losing. I'm so hurt. I wish Freeze could read these chats. Bro, you are doing this. And all the while, you're making $6 million, right? And I'm going to say this, and because I feel really offended by what Bruce Pearl tweeted. Bruce, sit this one out. Be quiet. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear a millionaire tell us to give another millionaire a couple more games to figure it out after 3 years. What? Could you be more out of touch? Exclusive TV says, and stop trying to make Jackson Arnold a pocket passer, please. Anthony Long, when Coach Hugh Freeze lowers the competition, he gets in his bag. When he plays a team with equal or better competition, he clams up. No signature wins, man. I don't know. Exclusive TV says, what do you tell Dirk after what the D did? Yeah, I don't know.
Go get him, coach.
Points. Go score. Do you tell him to score?
Yeah. Could you get him to like actually get a pick 6 next time? Because we need some help on the other side, buddy.
Exclusive TV comes back. I'm sorry. WDE says a bye week is coming. They will get a week off like last year. 2 QBs, same results, 100% coaching. I don't think this is on Jackson. I know a lot of people are down on Jackson today, but I just see a big system problem. Rigger Spoon says, I said it when he was hired. He finds ways to lose games he shouldn't, and this hire was purely because of Saban. Saban is gone, and the inability to control his ego and need to pass is killing us. If you're mad that all these narratives are sticking, like I mean, when you're losing, everything sticks. I'm sorry.
But my thing is, he should be able to do that. That's what he cut his teeth on. Like, that's what's so perplexing about all of this. Like, a lot of things, there are things that could go wrong, which I can almost, I can see how that could go wrong. What I am shocked, I am befuddled about is, dude, the thing that we've seen you do in this league, you can't do.
Enough. Fire Freeze says, who hired the coaches? Who kept Thorne? Who doesn't run the ball? Then says we should run the same product 3 years in a row. It's not a talent issue. It's over. It's done. It's on freeze, period. Trash. Look, man, I'm not here for any Peyton Thorne slander today. Like, Peyton may not have been your world beater QB, but at this point, it should be airily apparent that Peyton was not the problem. Here, he just wasn't. If you needed a QB to save you, go out and get that dude.
Why? To mess him up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, can you mess up Cam Newton? Because if you need Cam Newton, go get Cam Newton.
There are no Cam Newtons to be got.
Yeah, right.
They're out of stock.
I'm saying, yeah, it's a better bet to just evaluate better and have a system that elevates guys. Darius Lee says, demote Coach Hugh Freeze, promote DJ for head coach. He brings the fire. Well, you can't demote him. You got to fire him. And, you know, that's how that has to go. Appreciate the super chats, guys. We'll get back to your chats here at the end of the show. So if you got more super chats, drop them for us. We appreciate that. To close this today's show, I do want to talk about where Auburn goes from here. Where does Auburn go from here? We've seen the ceiling. I think the ceiling is Baylor, right? The floor is Texas A&M. Do we see more ceiling or floor here over essentially the last half of the season? Georgia will mark the midpoint, game 6. But where does Auburn go from here? If you're John Cohen, you got one job, bro. You had one job. Hire a football coach that can win games. And the goal isn't even undefeated anymore with a 12-team playoff. So you tell me, where does Auburn go from here? And should we be directing more heat at John Cohen? I mean, he has really gone out on the limb for Hugh Freeze. On Feinbaum, on every show, he's talked about the rebuild and how many kids they had to replace. Well, you replaced them. The floor is still pretty low. Bruce talking about, wait till we find an offensive identity. You know better than that, coach. Come on, man. Where does Auburn? Can Auburn find an offensive identity at this point in the season? After 5 games? Or do we know what the identity is, but the coach just refuses to stick to it? What do you think, Caesar? What is this? What are we watching? Where does Auburn go from here?
You know, I thought Auburn had figured some things out week 1. I thought it was refreshing seeing a coaching staff do what works and actually stick with it. And I thought this was the beginning of what could actually be a very promising offensive performance this year. It probably is going to look different week to week, but if you have a coaching staff that is taking what the defense is giving them, that's really the name of offense, right? You should be able to take what a defense gives you, but you should also be able to impose your will on inferior opponents as well. I think when you get into conference play and you're facing off against teams that are just as talented, if not more talented than you, and you are trying to attack them with your weaknesses, that's just the recipe for disaster. And I would like to see guys like Jeremiah Cobb, who still one of the league's leading rushers, get carries. He got 6 carries. yesterday. 6. I think he had about the same number a week prior. Like, put the ball in the hands of your running backs. You know Jackson Arnold is a better runner than he is a passer. He doesn't have to think about things when we're running the football. Play to your strengths. Try that. Like, I would like to see them get back to playing to their strengths. As far as what they do, I'm curious to see what this team looks like from a personnel standpoint, because I agree to what you said yesterday, Mike. I don't know how you have the performance you had yesterday and you don't change something going into a bye week, whether it's new people along the offensive line. I know people are mentioning getting rid of an assistant, but at this point, the issues on Auburn's offense is so bad that I don't know if replacing an assistant fixes some of these. Maybe it does. Who knows? I don't know. But we've been seeing some of the same problems. We've been seeing some of the same issues on offense, and Auburn has been replacing assistants on that side of the ball. So I don't know if this is the change that needs to happen along offensive line, that all of a sudden guys know that maybe I shouldn't move before the ball is snapped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know if that was the problem.
It's a good place to start. Not moving before the ball is snapped. That's a very, practice number 1. What's the snap count?
Now,
when do you move? Option A, before we snap the ball. Option B, at the snap of the ball. Option C, after the snap of the ball and let the defense get a jump on you. This seems pretty simple. Can we chart this out on a board somewhere?
Hey, Ike, question. What the heck happened to silent counts? That's not what we got to clap.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There's another joke there.
It just feels like a lot of these plays are very slow developing, and they take too long. The offensive line is struggling. Adjust your play calling, get the ball out of your QB's hands, call some screens, some quick passes, something, right? Run the ball. There was no commitment to the run there. We have the data. We know that this offense works better when they run the ball about 50 to 55% of the time. To have a game that was so lopsided in terms of running the ball so little doesn't make any sense. You were never really down that much to abandon the run, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I get the argument of when you're playing from behind. Yeah, okay, but you could have just leaned on them until they broke. That could have mixed it up better. It's just a lot that I just don't understand with how things went yesterday. But I'm not ready to
call that weak QB draw over and over again, and then try to do freaking roll the pocket right, even though we can't secure the edge versus the linebacker. We'll do that 5 times, 6 times in the game, and it not work. But then not actually run wide with a running back, but like twice in the game, even though it's been successful the past 2 weeks every time you've done it. And you started going quick game and then went away from it inexplicably for some reason. I guess only because it was only getting 3 yards at a time. But here's the thing. 3 yards is better than -4. I stopped doing. Listen. I dropped out of school. I stopped a long time ago, but I was really good at math, and I know for a fact 3 + 3 is bigger than -4. I know that. I really do. In fact, if you do +3 3 times, you're only 1 yard away from 10, and 10 is all you need to get a first down. So I'd wager if you get +3 on the first 2, then you're really close to getting that 10 you need. But if you go -4 on the first one, you're further away. This is really simple stuff.
Yeah.
Your running backs were getting 4.5 to 5 yards average per carry. You know what? You do that a couple of times, it'll equal 10. Math. It's great. It's the same 10 yards on every field. Works the same way.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. PFF grades are out.
Hugh
on
did say he may
him.
needs to run the football a little bit more, though. He did say that yesterday.
He's been saying that for 2.5 years. We may need to do the thing that's working a little bit more if we want to move the football. All right, bro.
Did want to talk about some PFF grades here. It was rough, man. It was rough. Auburn didn't grade well.
No,
it didn't grade well. And if you're Auburn, you've got to find something that works. If you're Hugh Freeze and you expect to be the coach of this team next year, you've got to dig deep and find some Auburn Jesus magic over the next few games. But Auburn starting 0-3 in SEC play, yikes, man. Yikes. Did not see us here, gentlemen. I did not see us here.
0-2 for the first 3 years straight. First time in Auburn history. Thanks, Hugh.
Is that real stat?
Yeah. Auburn has never gone 0 and started league play 0-2 3 years in a row.
4 years in a row.
Thanks, Hugh.
Said a lot about the talent. And when I screamed.
Make history, right, Bruce?
Yeah. I screamed. It's not like I'm telling you, system scheme. Not putting guys in, people argued with me and look at where we're at. So, yeah. You heard the quote that I read by the former player earlier in the show. There could be deeper problems here. Rick says, I think people miss that Freeze is a believer. The problem is he is wrong. It wasn't talent. He is a one-trick pony, and it's dead. I mean, he's right about the talent in a sense that, if you want to compete regularly with Georgia and Alabama and Texas, you do need dudes. But, the gap between where Auburn should be right now and where they are is not about talent. Fire Freeze says Baylor was this year's Kentucky game. Freeze is detested that running the ball works. 2 games in a row where Jackson Arnold has more runs than both the running backs combined. It's a tough look. Exclusive TV says possibly to go 10-2 is as slim as hell now. One of the most epic runs in college football history it will take. But that's a pipe dream at this point. They're going to lose to Georgia in 2 weeks. The Rock 1984 says, is it too much to ask to hire a coach to go I formation, RIP Rudy, and pound teams into the ground like Tubbs days and get back to running back you? We'd have had more than 1 rushing yard in the fourth quarter. 1 rushing? I thought it was 1 yard in the fourth quarter, wasn't it?
He said we would have had more than 1. Yeah, we only had 1 yard period.
I thought we only had 1 yard period in the fourth quarter. Yikes, man. It's tough.
I ain't gonna hold you. I though the rushing yards might look better, I probably would be extremely frustrated watching a team line up in I formation in the year 2025. It's fine for short yard, but no, we're not doing that, bro. There's no inventive offense that currently runs I formation that competes at a championship level. It just doesn't exist. Show me that team. The closest you will get is full house type stuff that Vanderbilt currently runs, but it's still out of shotgun.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't line up. You have to line up out of shotgun, but lining up under center in high formation, somebody's going to have to reinvent offense with that formation for that to make sense.
Yeah, it's goal line formation type stuff if you're doing that.
Anthony Long says, Jake Crane read a text that he sent Coach Hugh Freeze on his post-game show. He basically said, I can't keep defending this offense or I will lose my credibility.
Was he asked to defend the offense and then he's telling him, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, and why did you feel the need to read that text message to everybody? It's like, that's like a little, I got Hugh Freeze's phone number flex.
Yeah, well, he has a relationship with Coach Hugh Freeze, and so I don't know, maybe he feels like he had to. I don't know. I just like I don't I don't know why anybody would feel like they need to defend this at all. Mr.
Right.
Sip gifted 5 War Rapport memberships. Let's close the show. I just wanted this offense is indefensible. The floor just should not be the issue is the floor, gentlemen. The floor is just way too low. For the amount of talent that you have to actively coach them down to be where you're at right now. But something deeper is going on. Right? Again, I'm going to read this again. This is a former Auburn player that is no longer on the team, but was on the team. He said, "What did I tell you, Mike? The amount of talent on that offense is insane for them to be that bad. They run stops, goes, and double moves. That's the extent of his offense for Cam Coleman. And a big part of it is how much time they waste in the offseason because the head coach is lazy and not motivated. Auburn will never win with Hugh Freeze as head coach." Have you got players in your system that feel like that? I don't. And I got to stress, too, I don't hear any of this coming from the defensive side. None of this coming from the defensive guys. So Paul Feinbaum asked me about, how you move the conversation away from like golf and this. And I said, well, you win. Because when you're losing, all these extraneous storylines stick. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. When you're losing, everything sticks.
We all love a good comeback story. We all love to see the underdog win. And there was a potential story with Hugh Freeze coming to Auburn, how he left the SEC, how things ended at Ole Miss. And there was a good opportunity for him leading with his faith, redeeming himself, and having an opportunity to coach at an amazing institution like Auburn with amazing fans, amazing kids you get to coach, amazing facilities, amazing resources. And you wanted to see it come together because that would have been an amazing story. To have that handed to you and this is what you do with it. This is the performance you put on the field on a consistent basis. How do you ruin an amazing opportunity like this to coach at a place where championships have been won? It's not like you're coaching at a place that has potential. People have won championships here.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to bounce back in a major way, and this is how you treat the opportunity. I think it's one of the reasons why when you look at across the fan base and you see people are just done and it's still September, they deserve better. Fans deserve better. Those kids deserve better. The people who pay their hard-earned money deserve better than this.
They do. Frankie Freeze says, no more OC head coach outside of Gus' 3 successful years. It's been a failure. Might be time to go to defensive route. Felix Shakat says, Freeze, step away from the white laminated paper. That's pretty funny, not gonna lie.
It's almost like step away from the light because
yeah, this is tough. This is tough. Look, fellas, tough one for Auburn. Obviously, they've got 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia, and I mean it's kind of become a must win. It's become a must win, and this is where you didn't want to be, right? We said get one of the first 3. And you didn't want that third. You didn't want that one to be Georgia. because it's Georgia. So
I
I don't know, man.
I
I
hear
don't.
you, friend. It's just the reason why fans are off of this guy is because they don't believe that this can happen. Is they're looking at that as a must win, but it's like, are you gonna show up? He's 0 against his biggest rivals. I mean, he's really what 1-10 against ranked opponents since he's been at Auburn.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
Apathy is coming.
Oh yeah, we experienced it last year. They got one chance to turn it around, and that's Georgia. Yeah,
apathy is coming.
Guys, appreciate everybody joining the weekend tailgate today. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I want to thank Ike Jones for making the trip down to College Station. He'll be back in front of his computer for the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Well, he'll be in Jordan here next to me while we cover it live. I want to thank our title sponsor, Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use the codes on the screen to get your discount on your Golden's Cast Iron products. We appreciate them for sponsoring this segment. I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. Guys, join as a member. We need your patron memberships here to keep on the road. You may be depressed about football season, but basketball season is coming, and Ike does a lot of good work there as well, too. Breaking down film for you guys, and I'm usually at the home games covering live. So the Stephen Pearl era is here. We're going to be there to cover every second we can for you guys. You want to be a part of our community when that happens. We appreciate you guys for supporting us there as well too. So please do us a favor and get in on the action. The patron memberships, I promise you, are worth it. Also, do us a favor and support our friends at Sky Tobacco and Vape. Near a smoke shop that's always close by. Sky Tobacco and Vape has you covered all over Columbus and even across the bridge in Phoenix City. Whether you're cruising down Airport Thruway or rolling along a Victory Drive, maybe making a pit stop on the 280 bypass, they've got a spot ready for you. From vapes to tobacco and everything in between, Sky Tobacco and Vape is your one-stop shop for good vibes and great deals. Swing through today. Chances are they are already on your way to wherever you're going. Do us a favor. Hit us on the socials. Share this video at the War Rapport. Hashtag get your weight up. Please hit like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow us on X and Instagram. TW Rapport on TikTok. We're signing off, fellas. As always, War Eagle.